How you guys doing over there, YouTube universe? Welcome back, new subscribers and long-time subscribers. I appreciate you guys stopping by here and just commenting and communicating and interchanging our communication with music. This is gonna be an entry for Steve Carlson's 1,000 subscribers contest. Man, that is amazing. Steve Carlson, appreciate you having this contest. Appreciate you having all these videos come out. Man, your videos are awesome. They can keep me occupied for minutes and minutes at a time. The music you show is just amazing. The variety of music you put out and just the high energy you have in your videos. I appreciate that. Also enjoy the beautiful scenery that you use in your videos from time to time. So let's get to it. Since you're going to be watching many videos, you asked for 5 go-to albums. I'm going to be a little over, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I placed the albums in chronological order except for the first one, I believe. And I'm going to start with this Worship album. This is a band probably many of you guys do not know of. This is Something Like Silas, and the album is called Divine Invitation. And this is just a beautiful album. This is one of those bands that from time to time you find some bands that they put out like 2 or 3 albums and all of a sudden they disappear and you don't hear about them anymore. This is one of the bands. This album came out back in 2004, and this was like a blind buy. I picked this up not knowing what to expect, and I was blown away. Divine Intervention, this city's divine. It's a good way to put it. These guys are from San Diego. They were on the Sparrows label, and this was actually their last album they put out. And I've never been able to get a hold of their other records or CDs. Apparently this was their last CD they put out, and then they made a new band called Future of Forestry, I believe, which is a poem based on a poem by C.S. Lewis. I haven't given them much listen, but this is one of my go-to albums. It's just a beautiful worship album. The next album is The Earth Is Not a Cold Place. This is from Explosions in the Sky. This is another beautiful album. Explosions in the Sky, that's one of my go-to bands. Everything they've put out has been magic, has been majestic, has been beautiful. I don't own this on vinyl yet. I hope to own it someday. I only have the CD of most of the catalog. I only own one of their vinyls. But this is just this is like post-rock, instrumental rock music. If you're into like Goddess and Astronaut, those types of bands, Explosions in the Sky is a very explosive band, very melodic, guitar-led music. That's just beautiful. Next up, we have one of my favorite bands. So their albums are always one of my go-to albums. But for this one, I chose Thursday, War All the Time. This came out in 2003. This was their 3rd album, and this was on Island Records. They signed a contract to a major label, and I believe this was their only major label release. They went back to Big Tree Records, and then they signed with Epitaph Records, and they were with them until their last record. I'll be showing that pretty soon in a video pretty soon. But this album was just amazing. War All the Time. This was during the time where the U.S. was in war with Iraq. So it was just kind of coincidence that they titled their album World at the time. But the songs on here are beautiful. The highlight for me is this song is Brought to You by Falling Bomb. It's just a mellow, calm type of ballad song with just the piano and atmospheric keyboards and just the vocals. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful song. For me, the least song on here, the song that's probably the wackest, is Signals Over the Air, which was their single for the major label. Next up, we have, this was a 2011 release by the underground hip-hop group, Atmosphere. Atmosphere never disappoints. This was an amazing album. Every song on here is beautiful. Their albums are always one of my go-to albums, and this is one of them that I've played the most. What can I say? Just beautiful songs. They have a song here, The Last to Say, which is a beautiful song that talks about domestic violence. I will try to put a snippet up here if I can about just a snippet of that video for you guys to enjoy. Next up, we have At the Drive-In. Amazing, beautiful song. At the Drive-In came out in 1999. This is Baya. This is an EP, just 7 tracks, but beautiful, explosive music. And lastly, we have In Rainbows. What can I say? This is probably Radiohead's at their best. I mean, they put out quality work, but this was beautiful. In Rainbows came out in 2007. This actually won a Grammy Award, I believe. And just for me, the highlight of this album is the last track, Videotape. What a beautiful album. Next up will be the last one. This is U2 Live. Under a Red Blood Sky. This is always my go-to for New Year's Day. What an amazing album. So that's always on my table for New Year's Day. It's such a great album to hear on New Year's Day, and that's been on my table for so many years. So I hope to spend it this New Year's as well. And just to finish off this video, I wanted to talk about a couple of other things, since I usually talk about books as well on my channel. This is an author that I go back to time to time, Watchman Nee. This is the current one I'm reading. This picture of him right there, Chinese author. This author, every time I read him, just brings me back to where I need to be. Just the teaching and the things that he says, just if I'm astray, he just brings me right back to where I need to be. So Watchman Nee, highly recommend it. And a comic, Silver Surfer. Any Silver Surfer series comes out, definitely a great read. Brings me back also to just loving comics, loving stories, and just loving imagination, and the universe. I'm gonna check out the beautiful art on here. Silver Surfer is always on a cosmic quest. This is one of the last series I read by Mike Allred and his wife. And Dan Slott wrote the story, but just beautiful. If there's one Silver series to read, it would be this one. It's just amazing. Of course, I recommend the Stan Lee. You know, all the great stuff that was written before. Currently, they started a new series. This new author has been really big in the comic industry, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I do have the issue, so you know, maybe I'll do a review of it in the near future. So Steve Carlson, thank you for having this contest. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you were exposed to some new music, since you're very knowledgeable of all the genres out there. Here's to the next contest that maybe you'll be having pretty soon, maybe 2,000, 5,000 subs. you'll probably get there pretty soon. Thank you for putting out your videos. Thank you for just sharing with the community, and thank you for your high energy and your kindness, and just your high energy that's very, very addictive to us, who as you can see, many individuals watch you. Here's to more subscriptions and more videos, and more music listening. God bless you. Be in peace with yourself, be in peace with others. I'll see you on the next one. Firmes y adelante.